Hello, everybody. Happy weekend and welcome to my YouTube channel. Those who are already following me on YouTube, great. The others can subscribe to this channel. And if you want to follow me on Telegram, there's a link given below. You can follow me on Telegram. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about the weekly aspect of technical analysis for the Indian markets. In the previous video, which is also available in my channel and it was released last weekend, I have spoken about certain stocks which were on my radar to be able to trade and to decipher how the technical perspective is laying out in the coming fourth week. And we saw some interesting results. So in the previous week, I spoke about stocks like Bharat Financial Inclusion. So just let me open my charting software and just a second. There you go. You can see my screen now, and I'm going to discuss certain stocks. So let's just say, yeah. So and this week also I have some interesting stocks on my radar. So I had got Bharat Financial Inclusions, and we had discussed this stock in the previous week. This was the week I made this line at 956, and I did say over here, right after Friday, I did talk about it having something super bearish possibly coming up. Yes, I had also laid out a possibility that we could hover around sideways and then go down, or we could go extreme down right away. And this is what has happened. We also discussed BPCL in the previous session, like this, the weekly session. And BPCL, again, which was discussed around Friday over here, gave an immediate move the next day itself. And the gap zone played out as I explained to you why this move had occurred. There were other stocks which were spoken about, like, for example, Engineers India, which was at a resistance zone. And this is how over the resistance zone it had taken a resistance over here. And we also spoke about one of the very interesting moves which happened apart from Bharat Financial Inclusions and BPCL and Engineers India about Cadila Healthcare. So this we had also laid out a possibility of a strong fall on the 60-minute chart, and I mentioned that if we fall below this line, there's going to be a strong fall, and this is exactly how it played out. In fact, first it went up. This was Friday, so this is when we discussed. First it went up, moved around a little bit, and then it broke it very fiercely. So fall from 366, making all the way low towards 332, 3 levels. This was an extremely good trade. If somebody had followed this, they should have taken it. Now, to follow this every week, you must subscribe to my YouTube channel and also join me on Telegram by joining the link below in the description box. This week I have a few interesting stocks, and ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the firstly the view on markets. The view on markets. Let's take the chart of Nifty. On the weekly chart, we still carrying on the steep downtrend. I'm trying to make my explanation as simple as possible. That is why I'm not using any indicators. I'm not using anything except for explaining how simple candles and patterns can be. Because if you understand something and you can apply something in observation, possibly you can use it in other trades and other time frames. I feel that would be very effective. And of course, those who want to learn from me formally can join my 15 session course on technical analysis, which covers a huge syllabus and it covers a lot of interesting things. So going forward, if we look at the charts of Nifty and Bank Nifty, the weekly charts are practically speaking horrible. And in the Bank Nifty, what we see is that we are close to this important zone. And if we breach this zone, which we are highly likely to, I am expecting, if there could be a gap down, which could be strong enough, but I would not be too in too much of an expectation, because when market phases of volatile, you don't make too many big expectations. You don't go too bearish. You don't go too bullish, because that is what keeps your trading healthy. So irrespective of what might happen, yes, these are the levels I'm looking at, and if these levels are taken out, there is something interesting we can see on the downside. So keeping this in mind, yes, I personally have got had some trades around these areas on the shorting side, but and as these came down, but the whole idea is on the broader picture, because this is just the hourly chart. The broader picture, we can see much lower levels if this area is taken out. So keeping this in mind, okay, the levels would be around 200 to 24,250 to 70 zone, right? That would be the interesting level to watch out for. On the other hand, Nifty, a lot of people are just asking me, sir, it's come to 10,000, what will happen? I say, please, just because it's a round number, 10,000 does not mean there has to be something over there. So please look at the chart properly, and then you can understand that yes, the tone and the price structure is extremely bearish. It may possibly break any level as if it's nothing. It means nothing. But and also in a downtrend, one should look for the breaking of support. One should not look at going and buying at supports. But yes, because there is a huge, a big time frame support zone coming up, I would say it would make sense at 9,950 and somewhere between 9,950 970 to look at it. Other than that, yes, of course, we can do anything at any given point of time. That's markets. But don't take and just stick to that 10,000 zone. That's a very immature way to think. Okay, because it's 10,000, it's a big round figure number. It has to have some sort of significance. No, we can clearly see that the classic interaction point concepts, which is perhaps the very first chapter which I teach my students to how to identify important interaction points, come near the 9,950 zone, and there's always a possibility we can break it because we are already existing in an ongoing downtrend, right? So keeping that in mind, the whole idea would be to look for trades which are with the trend, because the trades which are with the trend are usually the ones which give us bigger moves and which gives us faster moves, reliable moves, and don't go against us that often. So for this week, I've got Kotak Bank. These are few stocks on my radar, and unlike the previous week where I was like having much more clarity on things which could unfold the next 2 or 3 days, this time the situation is slightly different. But yes, I do feel that Kotak Bank, which has made a bearish engulfing candle at a resistance zone, and we can see that in the zone of this bearish engulfing candle. Now if you want to know more about candlesticks and don't want to join the paid course, you can check out my YouTube videos there. Something about candlesticks you will find in my video section, you can go. So I have mentioned at different places that this bearish engulfing, in the zone of this bearish engulfing, is an important zone, and over here we see the price taking resistance. So this means there's a likeliness that we could see some more downside happening, right? This could take, I don't like making too many arrows because it seems like is going to tomorrow. It could take some time, it could be a little crooked, but yeah, eventually come. So that is Kotak Bank for you. Similar on the lines, I've got IndusInd Bank, which has already shown us quite steep cuts in the last 1 week. And these quite big steep cuts, in my perspective, should continue. The price structure is very weak, and therefore this would be a trade which I would use the word flow over here for those who are not very familiar with technical analysis. A very good medium term entry could have been that 1 day back, but yes, we still expect some more downside to happen, and look for intraday patterns on this chart, because this could be very interesting on the short side. And uh, excuse me, yeah, then I have on my radar, this one was a little more short term, so you can use intraday patterns and to add to the short positions and capitalize on the falls. This one is a little more medium term view, which I feel can unfold within this week and show something interesting, which is ONGC. As we see, there is a series of lower highs, and we can also see that according, perhaps those who are familiar with the Elliott wave structure can also see that the development from the wave structure point of view is not very healthy. We see this big red candle over here, which could possibly not be, because we are making lower lows. Could possibly not be a wave W or X, and could be a wave 3 of 3 in continuation, which means that ONGC can take down all these lows. However, talking a little more trading wise, because Elliott waves do have their alternate wave counts, talking a little more trading wise, I believe that these falls could continue over here and continue making lower lows, and therefore this move would be there to stay. And ONGC again being like one of the stocks which are linked to a commodity, that is crude oil prices movement, just like many other oil marketing companies. So one must consider those factors as well and look for significant trades on the short side if you get any, right? So significantly poised, technically poised properly, those trades, right? In the very short term, which is the hourly time frame, 151 is the important zone. So keep that in mind. I personally feel by the wave structure, this could be just taken away in a few days. So this is my inference on ONGC. So guys, HDFC Bank, ONGC, sorry, stock on my radar over here is UBL. And I do have other stocks on my radar, although there's no significant development which I can call in the short term. Like for example, there could be something which is not really shown me that it is taking support, but it's nearing a support. So I'm not going to include that because these are some things which I like to talk about when stocks are ripe to move, if they're ready to move somewhere. So I believe UBL, according to my analysis, there has been a sharp cut before this, and I feel there's a strong possibility of a lower low, which is my indicators saying. And then there are my patterns, etc., and chart reading is also saying that around the continuation of this trend with a stop of 1180 could possibly continue and keep the trend valid. And if that trend keeps getting valid, we could see sub 1050 levels and testing of 1030 levels. So this is one possibility which can happen, or maybe the cut is not that deep. That is also a possibility that may happen. Also, keeping your analysis and your style of trading in mind, you can go with the trend because this is particularly a slightly volatile stock. So I would like everybody to keep those things in mind. But yes, this is one of my bearish candidates in the coming week and few days. So guys, this was it from my side on the weekly technical analysis of the Indian markets. So I hope you all have a great trading time. And one thing I would like all of you to keep a note of, that every week I keep getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of people who are trading markets. I would say being